Thierry Breton of the European Commission, which is the executive branch of the European Union, sends a letter to Elon Musk. Here's someone from the European Commission, the executive branch of the European government, writing an American citizen about an American company and about the American presidential election. This individual thinks that they're going to regulate the speech and are concerned about what may take place in this interview. We called this out. We called it what it was: censorship and election interference. The European Commission said, don't worry, Mr. Breton acted alone. Really? Just look at these documents from TikTok. Europe's trying to influence speech and everything around the world. Often they directly ask platforms, how are they handling U.S. speech? And why on earth would the EU travel to California to talk about U.S. elections? On August 12th, 2024, Thierry Breton of the European Commission, which is the executive branch of the European Union, sends a letter to Elon Musk. And I just want to read the first sentence, because I think this captures what we're talking about, what this hearing is about. It says, "Dear Mr. Musk, I am writing to you in the context of recent events in the United Kingdom and in relation to the planned broadcast on your platform X of a live conversation between a U.S. presidential candidate and yourself, which will also be accessible to users in the EU." So we've highlighted this first sentence. And I think this first sentence kind of captures it all. Here's someone from the European Commission, the executive branch of the European government, writing an American citizen about an American company and about the American presidential election. And he said the catalyst, the context, the reason he's doing that are events that are happening in a different country, the United Kingdom, not even a member of the European Commission, about an interview that's going to take place between Mr. Musk and the American presidential candidate. So, to America, also not part of the EU, about events happening in the UK, not part of the EU, but this individual thinks that they're going to regulate the speech and are concerned about what may take place in this interview. That's the context for all of this. We called this out. We called it what it was: censorship and election interference. The European Commission said, don't worry, Mr. Breton acted alone. Really? We didn't think Mr. Breton acted alone at all. He was just foolish enough to say the quiet part out loud. A year ago, this committee started issuing subpoenas to tech companies, big and small. We asked them to give us your communications with foreign officials regarding censorship. The production started rolling in. The European Commission successfully pressured social media companies to change their global content moderation rules, directly harming the speech of Americans in the United States. This hearing is not about whether European governments can censor their citizens. They do it. It's wrong. We know that. But this hearing is about, we disagree with that, but this hearing is about whether American speech in the United States is being silenced by regulators across the pond in Brussels. And the truth is, that's happening. Just look at these documents from TikTok. This is the Community Guidelines Survey. If we can put that one up too. I just want to read the highlight. The primary motivation for the next round of community guidelines updates is to achieve compliance with the Digital Services Act. So here again, Europe's trying to influence speech and everything around the world. And what did TikTok censor in the U.S. to placate the Europeans? Let's go to the next document. I think this censored, quote, marginalized speech and behavior, media presented out of context. I think that happens every single day, and probably in this committee. We're always putting unanimous consents about this media, that one. They'll enter from something from the New York Times, we'll enter something from Fox or something like that. That happens all the time. TikTok censored true information and political speech on topics like immigration in the United States because of European censorship demands. But it gets worse. It's not just the European Commission is regulating the content moderation guidelines. Often they directly ask platforms, how are they handling U.S. speech? In 2024, the Vice President of the European Commission, Vera Jourova, traveled all the way to California to meet with TikTok to discuss U.S. election preparations. Now, why on earth would the EU, let's put this one up too, why on earth would the EU travel to California to talk about U.S. elections? Is the Vice President, Ms. Jourova, is she interested in discussing both EU and U.S. election preparations, or to stay mostly focused on the EU? Her response: we're interested in both. I mean, that to me is just unbelievable. But again, this is where the Digital Services Act is taking us. The answer is obvious. The European Commission is trying to censor speech and meddle in elections worldwide. Now the Europeans try to hide what they're doing. They say that these censorship requirements are voluntary and achieved through consensus. But we don't think that's true either. When the European Commission makes censorship demands, platforms have to listen. Platforms set it themselves in internal emails that we also got with our subpoenas. Let's put this one up too. I think this again captures it as well. Let's put the next one up there too. Following one, there we go. Yeah, let's just look at the bottom one. The European Commission is opening the Gen AI subgroup under the Code of Practice. I assume we want to join, and of course, then comes the truth. We don't really have a choice. We don't really have a choice. Europeans try to hide what they're doing. They say that these censorship requirements are voluntary, but they're not, they're achieved through consensus, but we know that's not true, as I said, and platforms have said it in this document. Gentleman yields back. Mr. Mayall, did the Biden administration censor people?
I'm sorry, thank you for your question. I'm here to talk about what's happening in Minnesota.
A simple question, did they do it? Did the previous administration censor American speech? You're from the ACLU, you should care about that too.
We do care about free speech, but what I'm talking about here today is the most significant threat to free speech.
I got that. You said that every time the Democrats ask you a question. I want to know, did the previous administration censor American speech?
Chair, this is not, what is happening in Minnesota is not normal.
Well, here's what Mark Zuckerberg said to the committee in August of 2024. Senior officials from the Biden administration.
Order, on what time is the chairman asking this?
My time and Clemens ticking.
He hasn't gone yet.
Oh, okay.
Could we restore the time?
The gentleman yielded back, and it's my 5 minutes. Officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor COVID-19 content, including humor and satire. Did it happen, Mr. Mayall?
Chair, I would love to be sitting here talking about online privacy, but I'm here talking about what's happening on the streets
of Minnesota. Mark Zuckerberg lying to the committee when he said that?
I'm not here to speak about that.
Well, here's how it
works. I wish I was, but I'm here to speak about the most significant threat to free speech.
Mr. Price, let me ask, here's how it works. Day 3 of the Biden administration, they send a tweet from the White House to Twitter, take down this tweet ASAP. It was a tweet from RFK Jr., and it was about COVID. So that's how it started, specific tweets. Then it progressed to policy. We have all kinds of documents we got in our investigation last Congress which show the policy. Change your policy. Leadership asked misinformation policy, a couple of teams on product policy to brainstorm some additional policy levers. So then it was broader. First, it's just a specific tweets. Oh, we got to stop this tweet from influential people. Then it's a broader policy. And now we got foreign governments trying to impact American speech. And it's so pervasive that you have individuals who put a Bible verse up that they're coming after. That's the progression this takes. Is that accurate, Mr. Price?
Yes, sir.
That's how it goes. One tweet. We don't like RFK Jr. Oh, by the way, everything RFK Jr. said in that tweet was true. Back to Mr. Kiley's point. So many things they said to take down were true. I bet Mr. Linehan would agree with that too. That's how it goes. Sometimes the thing they want to censor is the truth. That's how this works. This is, oh, by the way, Mr. Linehan, when they arrest you, were there cameras there? I'm just curious. No. How about you, doctor? When you were charged, how was that? How did that happen? Oh, let me go back for a second. I was curious about this too, Mr. Linehan. When you were apprehended at Heathrow Airport, what did the police officers say? What did they say to you? Did they say, were they coming in aggressive? Or did they say, hey, man, we're sorry. This is ridiculous. We got to do our, How did that go down?
I got that impression that they felt a bit embarrassed about it, yeah. I mean, I think basically the UK police are now in this situation where they are trying to contain every problem that Keir Starmer doesn't want to talk about. And that's all they do. Yeah. We can't get burglaries investigated and rapists put in prison, but we can get the police.
They can arrest a comedian who tweeted something in the United States who's not even a UK citizen. They can do that.
Yeah.
And the police are just like, oh, dude, sorry about this. We gotta do it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's an
My guess is it was the same with you, doctor. Is that right? I mean, did they say, maybe
Yes,
I'm wrong, but that'd be my guess.
Yes, my process started over 6 years ago, and there was a pride parade in Finland, and my church, the leadership of the church, decided to support that parade, also financially.
Yeah.
And it was a shock to me, and I was afraid that this would undermine people's trust on Bible. And then it is not only about marriage or sex, but also about salvation of people. And that's why I wrote that Twitter update, where I took a photo from the Bible and made a question to the leadership of the church.
Yep.
After that, some citizen made a criminal complaint about my Twitter update, and police started
Did the police come to your house? Did the police come to your house in charge? How'd it work?
The police started to investigate the case.
Yes.
And I was then interrogated by police in a small police room, which was a very unreal situation because just some years
Or a Bible
before
verse.
I was a minister of interior. And then I was sitting there, the Bible was on the table, and the police was asking me very theological questions.
If I could, I'm just about out of time, Doctor, but I just want to say this. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's where it progresses to. Specific tweets, broad policy, foreign governments getting involved in American speech, and so focused on it that they're willing to come after a member of parliament who simply posted a Bible verse. And they know it's wrong, as evidenced by the police have said, like, dude, we're sorry, we gotta do it. They know it's wrong. And we can't even get the guy from the ACLU to admit that the previous administration censored speech. That's the state of affairs. That is the state of affairs. The fact that the guy from the ACLU can't even say, oh yeah, they did it. Mark Zuckerberg said it. We got all kinds of evidence of it, and it's so pervasive. They're even going after people, nice people like the doctor, who simply put a Bible verse online.
Mr. Chairman,
I yield back.
could I introduce for unanimous consent the Supreme Court's decision, Justice Barrett's opinion?
Sounds like you're doing that right now.
If that's all right. It's Murthy versus Missouri, rebutting everything that you just said about what happened in the last administration.
Without objection.